Good morning, MCR students. Let me see if I can get this to lock in there. There we go. We're going to go over applying the multiplying and dividing of rational expressions and functions. Now we'll use some real-world application here. And the first problem we're going to look at might seem kind of dated to you, but the rule still applies. And you'll see why if you ever go to order something, the more you order, the less expensive it is. It's not just a ploy by the companies to get you to buy more. Well, let's jump into it so you can see the difference. So you might want to pause it so that you can write down this word problem. It says for a production company, the rational function C of x equals 2.6x plus 10,000 over x. Describe the company's cost per disc for pressing X compact discs. And that's what this is meaning, is like cost of this number of discs equals 2.6 times that number plus 10,000 divided by that number. Pretty simple stuff. It's just calculation. You can use a calculator on this. So let's dive right into it. So it's asking, what's the cost for pressing 100 CDs? So we would put 100 in everywhere we see X. So the cost of 100 equals 2.6 times 100 plus 10,000 over 100. So 2.6 times 100 is going to give us 260, write it over here, plus 10,000 divided by 100. Well, 260 plus 10,000, of course that's going to be 10,260. So 10,260 divided by 100. And we find that if we only press 100 discs, it actually costs $102.60 per disc. So to run, the total cost to run 100 discs is $10,260, okay? That would be some expensive discs. I don't think anybody would be going down to Walmart and buying the greatest hits of whoever for $102 a disc. So let's see how they make it affordable. Let's use that same function, C of x equals 2.6x plus 10,000 over 100, over x, and then we rewrite it. C of 100 equals 2.6, and this is going to be times 1,000 plus 10,000 over 1,000. All right, so when we multiply 2.6 times 1,000, we get 2,600 plus 10,000 over 1,000. So then when we add those two together, we get 12,600. And then when you divide that by 1,000, it ends up costing $12.6 per disc. Okay? And honestly, 1,000, while that seems like a lot, think about one of your favorite artists and how many albums they sell in a year, over 1 million copies. So when you do a production run of 100,000, it'll bring that down dramatically. Okay? So, multiplying this by 10 dropped it from $102 per disc to $12 per disc. So multiplying it by 10 again, even doing a 10,000 run, might drop it down quite a bit more. Let's check to see what the cost per disc would be if we ran 100,000 discs. So we'd still be doing 2.6 times 100,000 plus 10,000 divided by 100,000. So if we do 2.6 times 100,000, we get 260,000, and when we add the 10, we get 270,000. So when we divide 270,000 by 1,000, by 100,000, we get 2.7. So that's where you see these production companies really start to make money when they're selling these discs to Walmart for probably $8 a disc, and then Walmart sells it to you for $12 or $13. And by the way, if we're dividing by 100,000 or any multiple of 10, remember you can just get rid of zeros, and then dividing this by 10, we move the decimal over. All right, so let's look at an example for you guys to try on your own. Now would be a good time to pause the video, give you an opportunity to write down that problem, and to try it on your own. All right, so hopefully you paused the video. We're going to find the cost for 100 shirts. So we're going to plug 100 in everywhere we see X. Okay, so 3.2 times 100. Anytime you multiply something by power 10, you just move the decimal however many zeros are. So we would end up with 320 plus 400 over 100. So 320 plus 400 gives us 720. And then divide that by 100, and we would get $7.20 per shirt, which isn't bad for 100 shirts. Let's look at what happens when like these companies like Custom Ink make a large number of shirts, like 1,000. Same formula. Plug in 1,000 in everywhere we see X. So 3.2 times 1,000. We're going to get 3,200. So we end up doing 3,200 plus 400. You get 3,600. Divide that by 1,000, and you end up with $3.60 per shirt. Cut it in half. All right, so you'll need to go to Schoology to find your assignment for this. Obviously, if you found this video, then that's linked to the assignment. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me a message on Schoology. Like I said before, I'll Zoom with you guys if you need me to, or if we might be able to answer it over email. Either way, I hope you guys have a great day.